Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Plan. Today we are getting into Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 19. Yes. And last episode we had so much going on, honestly, in terms of setting up the conflict. I'm assuming it's going to be a big part of the ending of this season. I'm assuming that we're not going to have a lot of respite after this. I was going to say that we had some before that, but the episode with Gardar was intense. I don't really know, honestly. But going into this, we have Ketil, who has decided to become the warrior that he has always claimed that he was in order to keep his reputation, right? He's going to be proving that reputation in a way that he has not up to this point. We also have, it looks like Thorfinn and Einar are at this point going to be leaving with Leif, but they don't want to leave without Arnheid, who at the moment has been badly beaten, and it's a little bit up in the air, but if she's going to recover, there's a lot, right? We still have Canut, who's a couple of days out from getting to the farm. Things are tense, and I don't think they're going to get better. On the upside, Leif finally found Thorfinn, and we didn't get to see it on screen, so I hope that we get a flashback or we get a moment of them together, because I'm still salty about it. But let's get into the episode and just see what we're going to get into. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, okay. We got an army together. Cool. I don't think that's the point. I'm glad that someone is at least like, this doesn't seem like a good idea. Also true. When it comes down to it, you're just doing what you're told, right? Oh, so we know it's the king now. We've been informed. Oh boy. I guess that's a good motivator. Like, either they survive and don't have to pay their debt anymore, or like their people they leave behind will also like not have to pay that debt anymore. Yup. I think they're gonna lose some of that confidence the moment that like they see the forces they're up against. Ooh. The symbolism of him turning his back. Like, not wanting to be involved. I mean, he technically doesn't need to be on the farm anymore. I know that they're waiting for, like, Arnheid, but, like, they don't need to stay here, necessarily. It's not that simple. Oh, don't get me in my feels like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there's enough of his father in him that you can kind of tell. Thank you for giving me a moment between them. Ooh, she's conscious. Probably not a good idea. But I mean, being in a battlefield is probably also not good for her. Yeah, I was gonna say, what about her kid? Like, is she gonna, like, be able to have the child? I don't know. I feel like I would not trust this watchtower. Seems like some sort of shoddy handiwork all around. Not exactly top-notch craftsmen. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize we hadn't had the opener yet. I was just in it. Forgot that at some point we're gonna have an opener. I mean, I guess not. Sometimes they skip it because there's too much going on. We need that runtime, but it's just there's a lot of there's so much stuff happening. I wonder what's gonna happen if Canut sees Thorfinn or Thorfinn sees Canut. Because neither of them are the people that they were last time they saw each other, and they weren't exactly like best friends before either. Um, but there's definitely a history there, a connection, and I wonder what that meetup would be, like that initial conversation. And I don't think that Thorfinn would be able to say anything to Canut to change his mind. Like, I don't think that there's, even if they were close, like even if they had been, close friends before, I don't think that there's anything Thorfinn could say that would deter Canut from doing whatever he wants at this point. Dude. Yeah, it was way too high. You're not gonna be able to do that. Ooh! I mean, they're close enough to hit you. That's what you get for standing out in the open. They're actually trained warriors? Like, it's not like they just rounded up a bunch of, like, farmers and decided to go to battle, so that's probably why they can reach them with their bow and arrows. Love that Canut has the purple on, like royal color. Yep. Dude, you've been through some stuff. They are not gonna do that. Sir, you weren't there. I didn't see you on the beach. Okay, 100 of them. Still, I think you're gonna be outmatched. Like the numbers might be on your side, but like 100 well-trained soldiers, warriors, compared to like a bunch of farmers pulled together. Like really, the only people you have is like what's left of Snake's men and Thorgill. It's good for morale, I guess, though. Yep. I don't want to agree with Thorgill, but I get it. See? That's what I'm saying. Yup. I don't think that that'll hold any sentiment. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, those are the ones that look like they've been through stuff. Why have you seen them before, though? But we're gonna have to fight them anyway, I guess. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do that because he's gonna stay and fight. Yeah, good luck with that. Mm, I don't know. I saw him pick a fight that got us into this mess. I bet you do. More than anyone else. Ooh, backstory. Are we talking about the same person? It wasn't the same person, I'm assuming? Mm-hmm. Yep. Who's the actual Iron Fist then? Yeah, it's good for them to know that at least. To be like, hey, being on his side, he's not gonna be the one to keep you alive. Which I think also, like, Ketil's coming from this place of like, he's like, yeah, I'm finally gonna fight for and like be a warrior, but that doesn't mean that like if he has the mentality of a warrior that makes him a warrior, right? He doesn't have the training, he doesn't have the experience. When it really comes down to it, I don't think he's gonna do much better than the other farmers that they've brought along, right? I think he really thought that they would leave. That he would just be like, I'll tell them the truth and they'll leave. But they're not going. For better or for worse. Oh boy. This is a bad idea all around. He wouldn't? He's blunt about it, isn't he? They're a distraction, I'm assuming. Dragon fodder. I'm assuming they're gonna attack from behind. Yeah, like they might not be able to do anything in a count to 100, but Thorgill probably can. Dang, the like shields looking like an eye too is intimidating. He's doing his own thing. The fact that he put his father in the situation too of like, hey, distraction is like a bit cold-hearted. Yep. Mm, probably, but you're not him, so dang, it doesn't even look like you're getting anyone with those arrows. Does Thorfinn know that Canut's there? I'm assuming because they're like, oh, the king's here, but does he know that the king is Canut? He's been kind of out of the world for a bit. I mean, last time we were in the cart, there were a few bumps along the way, so. Oh, it's still going to be seen as theft, though. He does not want to part with her. Most definitely. Eventually. Oh. Yeah, I was like, there's a bump. Ooh, good transition though. Like back to this uh setting, right? Like before with Gada. It does make me worried about the fact that she has another child though. Because if it's like the other world or like the land of the dead, then I'm like, makes me worried that there's another baby. Except you don't. I mean, maybe, I guess, a little bit, but like, is that symbolic of Thorfinn and Einar? Oh, see, children. I'm like, that makes me feel like she's lost the baby. I mean, I thought that would probably happen. Because getting beat like that doesn't suggest that, that the pregnancy would go well, but dude, less intensity. She just got back from the brink of death. Ooh, that transition, jeez. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Canut's men being taken down in any way. This seems very one-sided. I mean, you're not charging in. Just saying. Oh, Umar is going through it. Just struggling. Interesting to say, like, I can't be like you. And not just in terms of like the warrior part, but like in a lot of ways, right? Like, it's not just that he doesn't have the skill set or the experience, but it's also because he's fundamentally different from him. Even that they're like very like shark like predator. And that's just not who Ulmar is, right? Going in with no armor too. Would announce your arrival for your sneak attack. I don't think they can hurt him, but still. Definitely an intense one, like I was expecting. But you know what? also with some quieter moments, which is nice. I like that they're still giving me a little bit of a respite from all the fighting that's happening, because we do have this whole storyline with Thorfinn and his group not wanting to be part of the fighting. But I do wonder if at some point they're going to be pulled into it, if at some point they're going to be forced into it, because there is that connection there, right, between Thorfinn and Canut. And I was talking about how I'm like, I don't know what that first meeting is going to be. I've been saying that this whole season, that I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be when they meet up again, because they're both so different. They're on opposing sides of everything that's going on. And the fact that Canut seems to be hungering for power and more, right? He just wants to be like in charge of more, and he doesn't want to stop that, because the only thing motivating him, the only thing that is giving him purpose, is to continue to want to be a ruler of things, right? Before it was like, oh, I want to be king, and then he got that and he's like, wow, this is empty, I have to keep trying, right? Because the alternative is he has to realize that this isn't enough, and he's going to have to find some other kind of purpose to pull him forward. So Thorfinn being like, hey, I don't want to fight or be in wars or have that war exist, is already against what Canut is doing. But also he's like, I want to be in a place that is peaceful and separate from that is like land that Canut is not in charge of, which is also against what he wants at this point. So I'm like, I don't know what that meetup is first going to be, but I feel like it has to happen at some point. Their paths are going to have to cross again. I just don't know in what context that's going to happen, because it doesn't seem like it's going to happen in this one while we're on the farm, but who knows, right? Like, how are they going to get away from this farm? Where are they even going? At the moment, we just have the cart and a horse, and I'm like, okay, but at some point we're probably going to need a boat, right? And at some point we're going to need to have a plan about where we're going, and I don't know if we have that right now, other than, hey, there was this magical place of Vinland that I heard about when I was a kid that was supposed to be like paradise, and it would be really nice to go there. I don't know. I feel like at some point their paths are going to have to cross, and I don't know what that's going to be, but very interesting to have the backstory of Snake being like, I knew who the Iron Fist was. It's not this guy, but there is a Ketil Iron Fist there, and I learned how to fight from him. Interesting to see if that person is out there somewhere, or if he died in battle. That might be part of why this Ketil has been able to take that reputation and that history and not have somebody come out of the woodwork and be like, actually, that's me. I don't know who this guy is. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any more of that backstory and like how that is connected with Snake. Don't know if we're going to dig some more into that, but gosh, I'm still worried about Arnheid. I know that I was like, I'm not particularly emotionally attached to her necessarily, other than I just empathize with her. And she already lost a child. It seems like she's gonna lose this one too, which is upsetting, and just losing her husband very recently and then going through this injury. She's just been through so much in a short period of time, let alone all the other stuff that came before this, that I hope that she gets some kind of happy ending in some ways, like some kind of peace that she gets to have again, like she did in her village before everything went wild. People made decisions without her. So I hope that she gets that at some point, because I think that she sacrificed a lot at this point and deserves at least a little happiness for a little while. But yeah, it just, I don't know how I feel about Thorgill going up against Canut either, because I feel like Canut is a pretty good fighter too, like warrior. He's been training for a long time to be a fighter and has quite a bit of experience at this point. I'll be interested to see how that turns out with those two up against each other, or at least the fighters around Canut up against Thorgill. But I just, a lot of, I'm assuming, violence and death coming up with this particular confrontation. I don't think that's gonna end up well for Ketil, but I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Vinland Saga reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!